Greetings! Thank you for joining us at First Recaps. In today's segment, I'm excited to delve into the details of a 2023 cinematic release titled Elemental City. This movie follows the captivating journey of two seemingly disparate individuals, Ember and Wade, as they navigate a metropolis where residents hailing from the realms of fire, water, earth, and air coexist harmoniously. Set against the backdrop of Elemental City, they are on the brink of a transformative revelation. So, stay tuned and prepare to indulge in a cinematic experience that promises both entertainment and introspection. The movie begins by introducing two characters, Ronnie Carmen and Shila Ommi, who play fire people. They arrive in Element City by boat, but they stand out because they are the only fire people in a city predominantly inhabited by water, earth, and air people. These fire people are treated with disdain by the other elemental groups. When they go through customs, their names prove difficult for the agent to pronounce, so he gives them the names Ronnie and Cinder. Upon entering, their senses were overwhelmed by the lively and enchanting atmosphere of the city. Subsequently, they reached the Garden District, but the property owners hesitated, worried that the newcomers might accidentally cause a destructive fire. After spending an entire day exploring the various corners of the city, they stumbled upon a deserted structure which Ronnie confidently declared would become their new residence. Eventually, Cinder gave birth to a radiant baby girl, whom they affectionately named Ember. Ronnie and Cinder decide to open a shop named the Fireplace. As time passes, more fire people join them, forming a community known as Fire Town, which is situated outside of Element City. Ember, portrayed by Leah, dreams of inheriting the shop from her father. However, Ember struggles with a fiery temper, which causes her to explode and create damage when she becomes too upset. Living next door to Ember is Claude, a young Earth neighbor played by Mason Wertheimer, who has a crush on her. Claude tries to win her over by offering flowers, but Ember's fiery nature prevents her from touching the flowers without burning them. Ronnie decides to take a day off for the store's red dot sale, leaving Ember in charge. However, Ember becomes overwhelmed by the sheer number of customers and their unpleasant behaviors. Feeling frustrated, she escapes to the basement to release her fiery explosion. Unfortunately, this causes the pipes to break, flooding the shop. In her attempt to repair the pipes, Ember accidentally releases Wade Ripple, who emerges from the pipes. Wade is emotionally expressive like Ember but more sensitive. He's not only a kindred spirit but also a city inspector. He discovers multiple violations in the shop that could lead to its closure. Despite Ember's pleas, Wade sticks to his duty and plans to issue citations that might shut down the shop. Determined to prevent this, Ember follows Wade through the city, desperately trying to change his mind. Their chase leads them to City Hall, where Ember's efforts to stop Wade prove futile. Learning about the shop's significance to Ember's father, Wade has a change of heart and offers to help her present her case to the higher-ups. Wade introduces Ember to Fern Grouchwood, an Earth-oriented individual responsible for certifying the citations. As Ember tries to explain her perspective, Wade interrupts and delves into personal details about the shop's importance to Ronnie. This triggers Ember's emotions once again, leading to another explosion. Unfortunately, this explosion only worsens the situation, and Fern informs Ember that the shop's closure is imminent, expected to happen within days. Wade presents an alternative solution by suggesting that Ember meet Gale, an airwoman who happens to be Wade's superior. To introduce them, Wade takes Ember to Cyclone Stadium, where a cloud ball game is in progress, and Gale is fervently supporting her favorite team. Ember and Gale's initial interaction is a bit tense, given that Gale's beloved team, the Windbreakers, is struggling in the game. Recognizing that the star player, Lutz, is underperforming, Wade initiates a chant among the spectators to boost Lutz's confidence. This effort results in a wave being created by the water people in the audience, motivating Lutz to perform better and ultimately leading to the Windbreakers' victory. Following the game, Ember and Gale's relationship improves, and Ember attempts to explain her shop's predicament. She mentions the leak that caused the flooding, which piques Gale's interest since Fire Town hasn't experienced water in years. Wade recalls investigating a water anomaly outside the city boundaries before he was unexpectedly drawn into the basement of the fireplace. Gale informs Ember and Wade that if they can identify the source of the leak, the shop's closure could be averted. Ember and Wade stumble upon a convenient hot air balloon that allows them to soar above the city. As they revel in the breathtaking scenery, Ember's mood darkens when they spot Garden Central Station. The sight triggers painful memories of her childhood when she yearned to witness the rare Vivisteria flower. This special blossom could thrive amidst any element, even fire, yet Ember and Bernie faced discrimination from other elemental beings who regarded fire as destructive. Regrettably, the station flooded, preventing Ember from ever encountering the coveted flower. Their attention then shifts to the origin of the water that has been causing trouble. They locate a broken dam that is blocking the passage of runoff from ships into Firetown. Observing more water spilling out, Ember and Wade respond swiftly, using sandbags to staunch the leak and prevent further flooding. In the following days, Ember and Wade embark on a secret romantic relationship. Despite Ember's fire-based nature imposing some limitations on their activities, Wade ingeniously finds alternative things they can enjoy together. During their private moments, Ember recounts another poignant tale, describing her parents' forced departure from their homeland, Fireland, after a devastating storm destroyed their abode. On the fateful day they left, Bernie attempted to offer his father the Blessed Bough, a revered symbol of honor in fire culture. However, his father declined the gesture, interpreting Bernie's departure as a betrayal of their home. Wade pays a visit to the shop, but due to Bernie's bias against water people, Wade disguises himself as an inspector. He hands over some scorching coal nuts to Wade, who bravely tries them despite the burning sensation. In an attempt to cool them down, Wade uses water, which infuriates Bernie and leads to Wade being banned from the store. Later, Wade goes back to the dam and discovers that the sandbags they had previously used had failed to hold back the water. Just as he's contemplating the situation, Ember arrives on the scene and devises a solution. She employs the sand from the discarded bags and harnesses her own flame to craft tempered glass, creating a robust barrier that effectively halts the water's escape. Ember strives to keep her relationship with Wade a secret from her parents, particularly from her mother, Cinder. Despite her efforts, Cinder playfully claims she can sense the presence of love surrounding her daughter. Subsequently, Ember joins Wade for a dinner hosted by his mother, Brooke, at their residence. The initial awkwardness gradually fades as Ember gets acquainted with Wade's siblings and uncle. As they gather, an inadvertent mishap occurs when Wade's uncle breaks a glass pitcher. Impressively, Ember reconstructs it into an even more exquisite design, earning the admiration of the ripples. The family engages in a playful crying game, revealing their emotional sides while attempting to withhold tears. When Ember and Wade take their turn, Wade's heartfelt speech moves Ember to the brink of tears, and they receive a call from Gale. Gale informs them that the tempered glass solution has been observed and approved, ensuring the shop's survival. Filled with elation, Ember and Wade celebrate. Before departing, Brooke hints to Ember about a job opportunity at a glass-blowing company, a prospect that aligns well with her talents. However, Ember expresses inner conflict about taking over the shop, revealing to Wade that it's not something she genuinely desires to pursue. Wade surprises Ember by bringing her to Garden Central Station. There, they meet Gale, who creates an air bubble for Ember to venture underwater. Wade escorts Ember to an underground area where she is finally exposed to the stunning Vivisteria flowers. The presence of Ember prompts these flowers to bloom. However, as the air bubble begins to shrink, Wade acts swiftly and guides Ember back to the surface. Despite this magical experience, Ember still maintains a cautious distance from Wade, fearing their potential to inadvertently harm each other. Wade assures her to proceed gradually. Overcoming their reservations, they manage to make contact, resulting in the formation of steam. As they grow closer, they even share a dance. Nevertheless, Ember's sense of duty toward her family tugs at her, leading her to abruptly return to the shop. Wade follows her, and Cinder catches sight of him. Cinder insists they enter her room within the shop for a smoke reading to assess the authenticity of their love. Wade ingeniously uses Ember's flame to illuminate the wick, but Bernie's untimely return compels Wade to depart before Cinder completes her reading. On the day intended for Bernie's retirement, he hosts a celebratory event with fellow firepeople to announce Ember's succession to the shop. Unexpectedly, Wade appears to profess his affection for Ember, fully aware of the impending consequences with Bernie. Despite his declaration, Ember remains steadfast in her commitment to not disappoint her family. She informs Wade that she doesn't reciprocate his feelings. Cinder disputes Ember's stance, claiming that their smoke readings have revealed Ember's love for Wade. Yet, when Ember confesses that her fiery explosion led to the pipe leakage, Bernie is crestfallen and reverses his retirement, stating that his trust in Ember has been shattered. Ember seeks solitude when she notices that the dam's glass barrier has shattered, causing a massive flood to surge towards Firetown. As she hurries to warn the town's inhabitants about the impending disaster, Wade, who was about to leave Element City, witnesses the unfolding chaos and rushes back to offer his assistance. The floodwaters eventually reach the shop, compelling Ember to protect the blue flame inside. Wade joins her, successfully rescuing the flame before water inundates the area. However, they find themselves confined in a room where Ember's intense flame becomes too uncomfortable for Wade. In a bid to free Wade, Ember attempts to break through the room, but he stops her out of concern that she might be extinguished. United closely, they share a poignant moment, and Wade evaporates. Bernie and Cinder come to Ember's rescue, extracting her from the trapped room. Overwhelmed by guilt for lying to her parents and realizing her true feelings for Wade, Ember sheds tears of regret. She confesses to Bernie that she believes she has ruined his lifelong dream. To her surprise, Bernie reveals that his true dream was never the shop, it was Ember all along. A mysterious sound resembling crying and dripping prompts Ember to enlist her parents' help to elicit emotional responses from Wade. This prompts him to reappear, and their reunion culminates in their first kiss. Months later, the shop is rebuilt, and Bernie indeed retires. As Ember and Wade prepare to depart for a new city, as Ember has accepted an internship at a glass company, Bernie, Cinder, and Brooke see them off. Just before boarding the ship, Ember gave Bernie with the blessed bow, which he returns to her, symbolizing their enduring bond. Thank you for watching.